welcome. I am Morgan from Psych Services. We have Kayla is here to help answer any questions along the way. Today we are talking about teaching through play. I really love this topic, and so I hope that you guys also enjoy it. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Psych Services. So our webinar is sponsored by Psych Services. We're a team of learning and behavior experts who are passionate about supporting you. We see so many teachers trying to do so much with so little. There's so many pieces to the puzzle, from meeting increasing demands at school, staying up to date on useful interventions in your classrooms, finding new ways to keep learning fun. And I've been really lucky to work with teachers with various age students. And one thing I consistently see is how much you love your students. With all these additional challenges and stresses placed on you this year, I continue to see teachers adjusting their teaching style, seeking out support, and being flexible, all to benefit their students. As a behavior expert, I focus on teaching strategies that help set our students up for success. Personally, I'm a really big believer that learning should be fun, and the more we can sneak those learning moments into the fun activities, the more success our students will have. I also aim to bridge the gap between the behavior expertise and the everyday applications. We don't want you to feel like you are alone in your journey to help your students. So at Psych Services, we're here to help lighten the load by giving you some helpful tips and tools in these webinars and provide high quality services, resources, and supports beyond the webinar. We partner with schools for assessments, counseling, and behavior consultation, and we offer coaching, support, and trainings for your team. Today, we want to help by offering some tips from our behavioral expertise on how you can create some learning moments for your students through play. Feel free to, if you have questions or thoughts, you can send them over to Kayla, and we'll have some time in between the teaching topics to answer questions. So in this presentation, all the illustrations are from ABA Visualized Guidebook, which I'm the author of, and Psych Services and I've kind of teamed up to give you the information content along with some visuals to help make it a little bit more fun. Today we're going to be going over how to teach skills and how to teach fun. Okay, so for the first part, teaching skills. So let's first talk about one big area of a skill that's right at this age range is what we call in the behavior field attending. Maybe it's just called paying attention. And so this is where you might see some of your kids kind of jumping from activity to activity, having trouble staying focused. And this is actually one of a hard skill to teach, how to get kids to stay focused. So one of the big tips for building this skill of attending is to start building it through fun activities, which will encourage students' focus to last longer and longer. So with this, the idea is that if we can teach them how to learn how to be really staying focused during like a thing that they like to do, that when we present them with something that they don't like to do so much, that they will still have that strong attending skills. So I'm gonna ask Kayla to help me model this for you guys. Because it might be one of the things that sounds easier said than done. So if I have my idea is that Kayla is my student and I really would like for her to, let's say like pay attention for about 5 minutes is kind of what we're aiming for her at this point. She's been playing with her little wheels for just under 5 minutes, and I wanted to see if I can get her to go a little bit further. So, but Kayla's gonna be distracted, and I'm gonna show you how you can just really easily and with low pressure kind of redirect her back to try to play a little bit longer. All right, so Kayla's doing her wheels, having fun. Oh, hey, Kayla, let's come back and do like 3 more wheels, and then we can play the ball together. Okay, let's see, which 3 wheels do you have left?
Red.
Okay, let's put it on there. Spin, spin, spin. Nice. I like that one. All right, let's do one more. Good. And give it a spin. Nice, Kayla. I like that you came back and played with me. You can go play the ball by yourself if you want to.
Thank you.
So obviously this was a little, very small little snippet example of this. You could also, like in this illustration here, you could also say like, hey, you didn't finish your drawing yet. Come back, let's finish the whole drawing, and then we can switch to do something else. So it's just about pushing a little bit further, and over time that will really add up. Okay, this is a really big one, is building language, because at this age, there's probably have different ranges of language ability in your classroom. So just overall, we want to be encouraging language, but really in a low pressure way. A great way to do that is through modeling. So you can just get down and join in on the fun. And model is where you're going to basically act like how you would like that child to speak. So we're going to speak on their level. We're going to make it really fun. We're not going to be giving a lot of demands at this point. And then again, over time, that can just build and build up into more of like conversation skills. So I'm going to ask Kayla to help me again with this one. We're going to show you basically 3 phases of what this could look like depending on your student's level. So the first one is, let's say that Kayla isn't really talkative. She's just learning some simple words, and she's more of a shy student. So we're gonna do play sound, play sound. So I'm gonna be playing with my trucks. Kayla is gonna be playing with her trucks. And then I'm gonna go choo choo. I'm gonna pause.
Choo choo.
Woo, let's keep going. Choo choo. So by doing like I'm gonna model the sound, and then the pause is like the signal. Oh, Kayla, it's your turn. So she did really well with that one. So now we're gonna like step it up a little bit. Kayla has learned now to do some basic sentences. So now again with our trains, we're driving our trains. Now I'm gonna just say, oh, I'm going to the park.
I'm going to the beach.
Nice. So now we're just driving together. So with that one, again, it's still as I'm going to kind of give an example and then do a pause and then give Kayla the chance to copy me. And she kind of made it her own with that one. So that was really fun. Okay, the last one, this is where you are going to start to kind of give that little push. So now by asking a question, I'm really signaling, Kayla, it's really your turn to talk with this one. So again, let's do another statement and question. So maybe this time I'm going to just be driving my car. Again, we'll just do the same car. I'm going to drive, and now I'm going to say, I'm going to the beach. Where are you going, Kayla?
I'm going to the beach too.
Okay, nice. So that was just to give the same example with the same kind of activity, and build it up based on Kayla's skill level. Thank you, Kayla. All right, next we have teaching fun. So if your students aren't ready to jump in and play immediately, it's okay. So again, we're gonna be having some kids who are more playful, more social than others, and that's totally fine. But we can kind of meet them where they're at. A good way to set this up in your classroom, once we're back in classrooms again, is to set up the table with various kids with various skill levels. So that way they can be more likely to kind of just watch what their friends are doing and try to copy them. So that's called peer modeling. And research shows that this is a very effective way for kids to just naturally learn from each other. But as teachers, we can help by setting up opportunities for that. I want to just take a little moment to see if Kayla, do we have any questions?
Nope, not at the moment.
Okay. Okay, to kind of add on to that one, we want to be starting with strengths. So for each one of your students, just be looking to see what are they good at, what are they interested in, and then we can continue to build up from there. So let's say that a student really just loves drawing, but they're not really sharing with other kids and they're not really talking about their drawings. So we know that they have a strength, they're really good at drawing. So now maybe you can start putting them next to another student who also likes drawing and then come in and again model. Oh, you can show them what you drew. Oh, you can show them this. Start putting some materials in between them so they can start passing back and forth the materials. So again, kind of setting up opportunities to just take that skill that they're good at to the next level. So here we have two boys that are doing like a pretend play. Maybe this would be a good opportunity to bring in somebody else who doesn't really participate in pretend play and bring them in and have again like these other students act as a model. So when you're just looking at your classroom, it's going to look like everybody is playing, but these are some ideas that as a teacher, you can just put a little planning in ahead of time to see, I think that this student could really start learning from this student and organizing it that way. So this is the more in-depth of that topic. So this is the play progression. So if you look, starting here with number 1, this is a onlooker. So this type of student is just going to be kind of watching and they're interested to see what other people are playing, but maybe they're not playing yet, joining in. So the next thing that we would want to start teaching them is parallel play. And then with parallel play, they're going to be sitting just next to each other and doing their own activity, but not really interacting with each other yet. So for an onlooker, you might start adding and giving her some of these same toys. So now maybe she's doing similar toys as this student, but they are, she's not really playing with him yet. Parallel play is a really common thing you probably we're already seeing in your classroom where kids are just playing next to each other, but they're not really facing each other, they're not interacting yet. So then in order to kind of build up on this to go to the next step is where maybe you start having them play with the same toy or kind of guiding them to be sitting facing each other. This would be another great opportunity for you to come in and model again those skills of asking them, oh, you can ask your friend, what are you drawing? Or again, just say like, I drew a rainbow, what did you draw? To try to bridge from playing by themselves to building into starting to share with other people. So in this step, associative play, now they are playing the same materials. We might be sharing materials together, but at this point they're not working together. She's drawing her own thing, he's drawing his own thing. They are starting to interact, and this is the great opportunity to start bringing in all those social conversation skills at this level. The next one is very fun, pretend play. So with pretend play, this is where they get to start pretending to be someone else, that they are somewhere else. And at this level is a great way to start building all of those imagination skills. And I really love as well working on problem solving with pretend play. So maybe you are pirates and now you're on a you're on a pirate ship and it's sinking. What are we going to do? So now you can really start building in some of these higher complex skills into play, especially if they're really enjoying the activity. That's when you can start kind of sneaking in some of those learning moments. Other pretend play things that you could work on, skills you can work on pretend play is flexibility. So this is often a challenging skill to work on. So let's say that one friend really wants to do pirate ship and the other one really wants to play like pretend robots. So we have to work on flexibility. Whose game idea are we going to do? Are we going to combine them? Are we going to have robots on a pirate ship? Or are we going to take turns on who's going to pick the activity? So definitely when we are at this level is where you can kind of start sneaking in those more complex skills. The next one is social play. So here with social play, this is where they're going to be really taking turns. This again is sometimes challenging for kids to learn to take turns and wait for their turn. And again, this is where you can use your modeling. You might have to come and sit in and join them. I really like with this one, keeping the language very simple. My turn, your turn. There's also some really cute like visuals available online that have like a picture of one person with a toy and then like an arrow with a picture of another person with a toy and an arrow back. So you can kind of be pointing at the visual to help with this. Another tip for turn taking and sharing turns is to use a timer. So we can say, okay, you as a teacher, okay, it's Sarah's turn for 5 minutes, and then it's Kayla's turn. And we can set a timer, and then if she's reaching for it, you can just refer back to the timer. Oh, let's check. Looks like there's still 3 more minutes until your turn. So that one might need some extra support at the beginning, but then over time, with practice, this one will start to grow as well. The very last one, I think that this skill will be a little bit too challenging for most preschoolers. This is where you're really going to be starting to play more board game type of activities where you're working together to complete a goal. So again, with like a board game, there's going to be a lot of other skills that are needed until you can get to this area, because now we're going to be taking turns, we're going to be waiting, we're going to be following the rules. So the idea behind these play progressions is just looking to see where your kids are at in your class. It's okay if you have one kid here, and another kid here. It's all about meeting them where they are and trying to just push a little bit, provide opportunities for them to just move a little bit onto the level that's just one step up from them. Any questions, Kayla?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So we've been, this is a little bit of a summary. So the skills that we can teach through play, we already discussed attending, creativity, flexibility, building language is a huge one, turn taking, social skills, imitation, and motor skills. Of course, there are more. The idea behind this is that, of course, while you're playing, you can be teaching colors and numbers and counting and definitely the academic skills that I'm sure you all work on so much in your classrooms. But these are all skills that you can teach through play, that it's almost like the students don't know they're being taught. It doesn't feel academic, but you're still building these really important skills for their social and behavioral development. All right, we'll just give a moment to see if anybody has any final thoughts or questions.
And I went ahead and dropped the survey link in the chat. And so if you don't mind filling that out, and then whoever fills it out will be entered in a raffle to win a free training with your staff or school.
Yes, which we're really excited for that one. 3 things you can do next. So Kayla was just mentioning that by filling out that survey, you can, you automatically will be entered to win the raffle. You can also follow us at Psych Services on all these platforms. It's just at Psych Services. And you've also been automatically signed up for our mailing list, so that way you can know about any future upcoming webinars. We have some free resources and things like that as well.
Oh, we do have one question in the Q&A.
Okay.
It says, do you have any suggestions for pretend play activities that work well over distance learning?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Um, we've had to adjust so much for distance learning. I think that it's a time to just really be getting creative. And so with distance learning, with pretend play, if you're doing like with the leading the teacher and just the student, or actually having lots of students, it would be fun to kind of use like make it an arts and crafts activity where they can maybe like make different hats, and they each can pretend to be like, you know, like we're going to do the pirate hats, and you can do little breakout rooms and kind of lead just a little script, kind of, it's more like a play, I guess, like that. And I think by adding in the virtual backgrounds, adding in props, that's where you can start to really build the pretend play, even with the barrier of the screen. I've seen sometimes there are teachers can like prepare like a little, you know, kit and send it home to the parents for them to print, or just mail it to them, so that way you're like, okay, Friday is going to be, you know, we're going to do like a Disney Princess Day. I've mailed everybody, you know, like little crowns, and then you can have each person like tell their story about what princess they are. So I think it's definitely a lot more challenging to do it via distance learning, but I think with adding in some props, changing up the virtual backgrounds, probably using the breakout rooms to give a lot smaller settings is going to be easier for the students. I just thought of another idea. So we can do what I've done sometimes with my clients is when they are, this is more in a one-on-one setting, but when they are playing with Play-Doh, and I'm over here, I don't have Play-Doh, but they are playing with Play-Doh, then they are like pretending to feed it to me on the camera, and I'm and so you can, you know, do all these silly sounds and getting close to the camera and things like that to try to make it a little bit interactive as well. Any other questions, Kayla?
Sorry, I'm typing at the
Oh.
time. Yes, we do have a question that I'm following up on as far as additional trainings for schools. And I'm going to drop the survey link again in the chat. I think some people are still looking for it. And someone else said, these are great ideas. Today my kids brought pots and spoons and we made soup. Excited to build on more with Play-Doh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cute. I think that it's such a hard time for all the creativity that's being placed on teachers right now, and it's really just making me so impressed when I'm seeing all these fun ideas like this. You know, especially for these little ones, we have to be trying to make the distance learning really fun for them. I think the biggest tip I have for that is trying to see if there's ways to kind of break it into small groups, especially for the little ones. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope that you learned some little takeaways. And definitely you can, you know, reach out to Psych Services if you have any other follow-up questions.